He's very good guy, very good guy. He have a very beautiful face, I think. Yeah, and and like this, we going to the top, motherfucker.
It's my name, это мой манер, ain't no pain, no gain, иди нахуй Monday. Don't raise my name, ра-та-та, bang, bang, заряжай, бля, got my baby mother. It's my name, это мой манер, ain't no pain, no gain, иди нахуй Monday. Don't raise my name, ра-та-та, bang, bang, заряжай, бля, got my baby. My name, это мой манер, ain't no pain, no gain, иди нахуй Monday. Don't raise my name, ра-та-та, bang, bang, заряжай, бля, got my baby mother. It's my name, это мой манер, ain't no pain, no gain, иди нахуй Monday. Don't raise my name, ра-та-та, bang, bang, заряжай, бля, got my baby mother. My name, это мой манер, ain't no pain, no gain, иди нахуй Monday. Don't raise my name, ра-та-та, bang, bang, заряжай, бля, got my
And
baby mother.
like this, we going to the top, motherfucker. It's not one heart. It's Bogdan Guskov.
You do look like Anthony Smith a little bit.
Look like, look like.
Иди нахуй Monday. Don't raise my name, ра-та-та, bang, bang, заряжай, бля, got my baby mother. It's my name, это мой манер, ain't no pain, no gain, иди нахуй Monday. Don't raise my name, ра-та-та, bang, bang, заряжай, бля, got my baby mother.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed that intro. Put a lot of work into that one, and also I realized from last time that I made an edit of the card and I used fight footage from like the day before. They copyrighted the fuck out of me, and then the video got taken down and I got a warning, and if I got 2 more of those warnings, my channel's gone. It's kabush. So I made sure to just edit the fuck out of this and make sure that there's no possible way they can copyright this. If they do, I'm going to be pissed off. But in today's video, you probably picked it up from the intro and from the thumbnail. Bogdan Guskov is the man on the tip of the tongue, and Bogdan Guskov is an absolute force in the light heavyweight division, and he's a G. We love him. Bogdan Guskov, he's my guy. He's cool with all the people on the block. He reps all ends, and yeah, we're going to be talking about this man in today's video. I'm going to be discussing his background, how he got into MMA, that kind of stuff, and I'm also going to be looking at his family members, because he's got a very extended family, very interesting to look at. So we're going to take a look at that later on in the video. Then I'm going to go through how I think he would do against everyone in the top 15. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give sort of like a road to gold, I guess, type of concept of who I think he should fight next, and then which fights he should take after that to get to a title shot if he gets there. So that's what we're talking about. Bogdan Guskov, one of my favorite fighters right now. And yeah, let's get into it. Bogdan Sedovich Guskov was born September 12th, 1992, just one day before September 11th. Coincidence? I think not, even though he was born a decade earlier. But ignoring that, he was born in the Republic of Uzbekistan in the village of Dekent. I looked this place up. It's an absolute shithole. You can see a photo in the top right. It's just a bit of a dismal location. Honestly, Bogdan must have brought all the life to that place, because otherwise, if he wasn't there, place was dead, I'll be real. But Bogdan Guskov, that's where he was born, in Uzbekistan, and also he's a smart guy. You can pick that up, obviously. You can tell by looking at him. You can tell by listening to him talk. He is a smart and intelligent individual. No glazing intended here. But he graduated from school and he entered the Dekent Radio Engineering College, and he received a secondary specialized education and was a welder by profession. So as you can see there, that's a photo of Bogdan Guskov at work, welding some metal. Yeah, he's a great guy. He actually has like a full bachelor's degree and shit. Dude's smart. Also, he grew up in a poor family, as all good fighters do, and was involved in sports since childhood, first in athletics, then in volleyball, where he received a title of Master of Masters. The title of Master of Masters. I don't know what that means. This was this is how much effort I went to. I translated this from his Russian or Uzbek Wikipedia page into English. So because there's no like just English Bogdan Guskov Wikipedia page, I had to translate the Russian page, and that's how I got this information. So I don't know if this fucking makes sense, but he was real good at volleyball, apparently. Much better than Shamil Gaziev, of course, because he's the real volleyball player in the UFC. But let's talk about his fighting background. So after he had a successful volleyball career, basically he came, he saw, and he conquered, and then he just dipped. So yeah, after that he started going to the gym and became interested in street fighting, martial arts. His mother was against it. Sounds a lot like Khabib's mum, honestly. I think all those mothers are against it. It's all the dads that are like, yeah, get into fucking punches in the side lane, and the mother's like, no, you must stay home. I don't know why that sounded Chinese, but yeah, sorry. So he got interested in fighting, started probably having some scraps and stuff in the back of alleyways, all that kind of thing. His mum was against it, but he was an aspiring fighter, and he got helped out by his aunt, who paid for his boxing and kickboxing classes until he won his first competition, and then he got free classes. So dude became just that good. He probably like just chinned the trainer on like the first day, just like had his hands down and caught him with like a fucking bolo uppercut, just chinned him immediately. It's like free classes. He took over the gym straight away. That's what I got. It wasn't there, but come on, like let's be honest, that's what happens. That seems like something my guy Bogdan would do. But at the age of 19, he moved to Moscow, leaving sports for 3 years in general. So, bro, he was too good. He had to retire. He had to take some time off. He dared to be great, and he was. And then it's like he needed to let the game catch up to him, so he took 3 years off. But he got a job as a ventilation system installer. Bro was just bored of having he was bored of being the main character, so he just had to be like, I'm gonna just take a normal 9 to 5 boring job for once. But then due to low wages, he began working as a bouncer in a club. That's how you know this shit's true. Tell me you can't just see Bogdan as a bouncer in a club, like some 150 pound or 140 pound tourist is just getting lippy in the fucking, just drunk outside a club, and then he just power slams that guy over the top rail and just breaks his spine. That is so something Bogdan would do. As you can see, that's a photo of him there, second from the left. He's having a great time. And yeah, he was a great guy. He still is a great guy. What am I talking about? But while working at the club, Guskov actually went under a fake name. It said a different word, but let's change it to fake name just in case you didn't know what the word meant. But he went under a fake name, an alias or whatever. And he spent that time in Moscow under that name when he was working as a bouncer. And then he also fought under the nickname Hugo, or under the name Hugo. So yeah, Bogdan Hugo Guskov. On paper, his name is Hugo. So let's this is a thing that we figured out in this community, so we're going to keep it here. He's now Bogdan Hugo Guskov. That's what we're going with here. But he returned to the sport age 22 after he took his layoff because he was too good. And he started participating in several boxing and kickboxing tournaments. Then my guy Bogdan switched to mixed martial arts. And yeah, he's basically I already conquered the volleyball scene. I already smoked all these guys in boxing. Who needs a Philly shell? I've got the Bogdan guard. That's what we're renaming that now. And he started smoking fools in mixed martial arts. December 20th, 2015, he made his debut against this Russian name, most certainly inbred. And also it's something 911. That's what that name's looking like. But he defeated his opponent in the first round at 1 minute 13 seconds by knockout. And if you look at this guy's Tapology, it's pretty much all first or second round knockouts. This guy's got fucking 10 knockouts in under a minute. So dude's he's got better things to do. He needs to go to his shift as the bouncer, go install some ventilation systems, and then he just dips. So yeah, Bogdan living a great life. But now let's take a look at his family, like Anthony Smith. So unfortunately, he didn't actually, I didn't know who his actual family was based on his Wikipedia page. They didn't give me his immediate family, but I did some digging. I made some phone calls. And I got in touch with some people in the know, and I found out that these are the core 21 members. There's 21 of them. And he's got a large family, large extended family, and believe it or not, they're not inbred, because unlike the Dagestanis, this guy's actually an interesting personality and not an NPC reproduction of just brother-sibling relationships. But let's take a look at the family. So top left, you can see his grandpa. He's been around for a hot minute. I hear the Uzbeks, they live longer. So I think his grandpa's 107. That's what I heard. He's living a good life. He's still getting into scraps outside the bar. He owns that nightclub that Guskov was, he owns the nightclub that Guskov was being a bouncer at. So he's sorting all those guys out. He's a great lad. Second over to the right, it's his best mate. Yeah, that's no family members, but he's in there. He's one of his best mates. That's one of his childhood friends. The guy was on his volleyball team when he won the volleyball tournament. And that was actually the guy that he knocked out in his first boxing match. And then they became friends because basically he sunned him, and then he's just like, I'll take you in, I'll teach you how to be better. And then, he's his mate. But across from that, we got the drunk uncle. This guy regularly at Guskov family dinners, family lunches, family gatherings, and he's always just there, bit rowdy, causing a ruckus, and he sometimes needs to be removed, and sometimes he just clocks out on the couch. That's what that is. That's his drunk uncle. Across from there, you can see his two annoying younger siblings. They're not around too much. Those are the kind of guys watching TikTok all day. Somehow got access to internet in Uzbekistan, in Dekent. And yeah, they're just watching TikToks all day, saying brain rot shit. They're the really annoying ones of the family. Across from that, we've got the family plumber. Not a member of the family, but probably is, just based off certain things that have been reported based on his duties as the plumber. But yeah, that's the family plumber. Across from that, we've got his nice little pet. Guskov has multiple pets. You can see another one down two lower in the bottom corner. That's another one of Guskov's pets. He's a great guy. He's a caring dude. They're basically his dogs, but, in Uzbekistan, dogs look a little bit different. For the Guskov family, they look a bit interesting. But you can see that his autistic cousin, Marvin Vittori, I'm pretty sure he's his cousin. But that's in between the two pets there. You can see across from that, the creepy uncle. That's the guy that, is getting a little bit handsy and just needs to occasionally get that right hand to the chin and just back off. That's what that guy is there. Then you can see his suicidal younger brother, Alex Morono. That's the guy that basically no one really talks to him in the family. He's very unknown, and he is slightly killing himself, and Logan Paul has filmed him hanging from a tree in a forest in Japan before. But across from that there, we've got his gender-neutral sibling. This guy is weird. Guy or girl, I'm not sure. They, them pronouns, perhaps. But that's the one that they might have transitioned a couple times. I don't know what's going on there. It's just it's a thing that exists. It's not a male or a female. It's a thing that exists. Then we got Josh Emmett, the older brother of Bogdan Guskov. Of course, showing off his inbred orc genes. Then, to the left of Josh Emmett, we've got the Downs' little cousin, the little midget dwarf thingy that just kind of rolls around like a 10-pin bowling ball, and they just chuck it around and play games with him. Then across there, we got the cousin, just a cousin, looking extremely like Bogdan. That's one of the ones where, you see the people, and they say they're cousins, but you'll be like, you look like siblings. That's who that is to the left. That's his cousin. Then, his father, of course, down bottom left. You can definitely see the resemblance. The mum, across from that, very similar. You can see how those two would have a kid and it would look like Bogdan Guskov. Then his younger brother, looking very similar to Bogdan. Then his identical twin, Anthony Smith, of course, we know. Bogdan even said he has a handsome face, so maybe there's some weird sibling attraction going on there. I don't think Bogdan would be into that. He seems like a great guy, but he's got a very loving relationship with his brother. They support each other a lot. And, he has to take care of Smith because, Smith's a bit of a victim. And Bogdan, he's got to help out. But then, across from that, you got the stepdad that kind of just came in. I don't know if he's the stepdad or another creepy uncle, or just that weird dude that's a distant relative of the family that just comes in and acts like they're a part of the family. But that's who that is, the big bloke there with the fucking head and the large torso. Then we got this NPC second cousin. That's that random guy that you just see at all the family lunches and you'll be like, I don't know who the fuck you are. And you'll be like, Mum, who's this? How is this person related to us again? And they'll tell you. And then the person's just sitting there on their phone the whole time, not talking, just NPC of an individual. And yeah, that is the family. That's the Guskov family. They're great people. I actually went around to theirs for lunch the other day. This was just before Bogdan flew out for his fight with Ryan Spann. And they're great people. They're really nice to talk to. They make great food. They're friendly people. And yeah, there's not much weirdness going on, just a little bit. But, out of everyone in Uzbekistan, they've pretty much pulled all the personality and all the interesting people into that one family. And yeah, they've just got a massive house, big setup. They've got it's a 3-story house. They've got a couple of sheds and stuff in the backyard. They've got a bungalow in there. And they've got everyone living together. They're living in harmony and they help each other out a lot. So that's really good stuff. But Now let's go back to Bogdan's fighting career and let's talk about how he matches up with the top 15. So these aren't the official rankings, but this is what I've just done for the sake of it because he did beat Ryan Spann. So I've made him take Ryan Spann's spot and I've just moved Ryan Spann down to 15 and kicked Dominic Reyes out of the rankings because I think that's pretty reasonable. But of course, I would pick him in a rematch against Ryan Spann. I would pick him against Vitor Petrino at this stage in their careers right now. Petrino really didn't look amazing against Pedro. He wasn't really hurting him that much on the feet, so maybe Petrino could grapple him, but I feel like I would pick Guskov. Azamat Murzakanov, he's been out for ages. He's got some power on the feet, but I don't think Guskov is going to get hurt badly unless you're way quicker than him, like Volkan, because Spann wasn't quicker than him, and he pretty much had no moments on the feet. He had landed a couple shots, but yeah, it was weird to see how he took the shots of Spann, but then osed him and wobbled him a little bit. But yeah, I think he would beat Murzakanov. I think he'd beat Menefield because Menefield's kind of shit. Of course, he would fight himself and he would win. He would beat Anthony Smith pretty easily, I think. Volkan osed him in a rematch. I would probably still lean towards Volkan, but I wouldn't mind Bogdan's chances. You know, that fight was on short notice. It was his debut. So maybe we're seeing a new Bogdan and he's just rapidly improving. So I think a 50-50 fight in a rematch. Khalil Roundtree is interesting because I actually don't think Khalil's style would be that good for catching him too much. Because Khalil, like, he does solid work with his hands and stuff. But, I mean, he took till the third to finish Smith. Apart from that, he finished Dorcas, but he gets tagged himself and he's definitely not immune to getting dropped and put away. So I might even pick Guskov there, and I don't think Khalil's going to grapple him. If anything, I actually think Bogdan's more likely to lose more fights on the grounds than the feet. I think he actually would beat Johnny Walker. I think Walker's too retarded. He would leave himself out of position and he would get cracked. I don't think they would fight though, because even though I'm going to match them up in a second, spoiler, but I'm pretty sure like Volta Walker's Johnny Walker's brother, and I think he's like a teammate of Bogdan. So I don't know, maybe they're teammates and they wouldn't fight, but who cares? I think he would beat Walker. Krylov, I think, could probably grapple him, but coming back after a long layoff, Krylov hasn't fought since March of last year. I wouldn't mind, because even Spann was having some moments against Krylov on the feet and on the ground, so I'd probably lean Krylov. I wouldn't hate him to win that though, but then this is where we get into the rough spot. I think Rakic smokes him. I think at this point, Blachowicz is still good enough to beat him. I think Hill would probably just snap him back with punches. Ankalaev would wrestle him. Yuri would probably be too much for him. And because Yuri's kind of just Bogdan on crack. Like, he's almost like an extended version of Bogdan. Like, arguably more power, quicker, better chin, bit better grappling. So yeah, Yuri would win, and then I would obviously pick Pereira to win on the feet. But Bogdan, man, for a guy that, you know, a lot of people kind of thought him as just a nobody and someone who was going to be kind of shit after he lost to Volkan. They're like, oh, this guy's nowhere near top caliber. He beat Zach Pauga, who's shit, but he turns out and smokes Ryan Spann, who, I know Spann's retarded, but I picked Guskov to win because a lot of people are just saying Spann's way better, he's fought better guys, and Spann has fought a lot of good opponents. And he almost finished Johnny Walker before kind of getting like back of the head elbowed to a finish. Spann's beat guys. He beat Kutalaba, I'm pretty sure. Like, he's beat Smith. No, he lost to Smith, but he had big moments against Smith. KO'd Reyes. I know that's not impressive, but Spann is a proven top 15 guy, although he's a bit retarded at times. He lost to Krylov, but had moments. Like, Spann's not awful. He's just dumb. And Guskov was able to capitalize on that and looked really good on the feet. Like, his style, but like, this is what we were saying with Yuri. Yuri fought Volkan in his debut as well, and he was getting cracked. He got wobbled by Volkan, but his chin is just a bit too, like, on crack to get KO'd. And so, yeah, I don't mind Bogdan. I'm not saying he's a future champion. I'm not saying he's going to be a perennial top 5 guy, but I think this guy beats more people than he loses to right now. Honestly, that's my opinion. I think Spann, Petrino, Azamat, Menefield, Smith, Khalil, Walker. I'm not confident in all those, but I would say that's 7 that I would pick him to beat. And then obviously the guys I would pick him to lose to would be Volkan, Krylov, Rakic, Blachowicz, Hill, Ankalaev, Yuri, and Alex. So I would pick him to beat 7 of the top 15 guys right now and lose to 8. But that's touch and go because I think the Volkan fight is still 50-50, so I wouldn't mind him to win that. But now let's just talk about matchmaking him and how we could get Bogdan to a title. So if the UFC rankings are sensible, he'll be ranked around number 11 or 10. And honestly, if Smith loses to Petrino, I would actually keep Bogdan above Petrino. So I would put Bogdan at 10, Petrino at 11, Smith at 12, and then you go from there. But regardless, I want him to fight up or at least like not down. I don't want him to fight an unranked guy next. That would be pointless. You got momentum, keep it going, and you've got many top 15 guys you could fight. So I guess the meme option is Smith. You could go with an Azamat Murzakanov if he's alright to come back. You could wait and do the like either Ozdemir in a rematch or Johnny Walker after them two fight. You could maybe do the loser of Hill versus Roundtree. If it's like Roundtree or probably not Hill, but if Roundtree lost, that'd be a sick fight. But I think just for the sake of, to be fair though, Smith might retire if he loses to Petrino, but he still thinks he can beat everyone because he fails to realize when he says that on paper I beat everyone, he fails to realize he is not Bogdan Guskov. Bogdan Guskov is him. In both the literal and figurative sense. And yeah, Bogdan Guskov is the real Anthony Smith on paper. That's the skills that Anthony thinks he has to be able to beat everyone. So I think Smith, just for the gimmick, I think you got to do it. It's funny as fuck. Everyone would love it. Make it happen. But then after that, if he gets a big win there, I think he would KO Smith if they fought. I think you do the Johnny Walker fight. If they're teammates and they can't fight, fair enough. Maybe you then do a Rakic instead or a Krylov or something like that. But just Walker, you want to do fun matchups with this guy. Like, tell me like Roundtree or Walker or something versus Guskov isn't sick. So if he wins that with a KO, which I think if he fought Walker, he would win by KO, you push him top 5 guy. I think if he's not champion by then, if he's just still that top 5 guy, I think Yuri is the perfect opponent because you don't want to give him Ankalaev. You don't want to give him... I think Rakic is just an awful style matchup for him. Rakic would smoke him. But Yuri is a guy who I would definitely pick to beat Bogdan, but it's just a really fun fight, and it's kind of like a win-win. Like either Yuri wins and it's just cool, and we like seeing Yuri win, or Bogdan wins, surprisingly. But like the way these two fight, the silhouettes of these two, it's almost a mirror image of themselves. Obviously, looks-wise, it's Anthony Smith, but fighting style-wise, it's Yuri Prochazka. The hands are down, throwing weird shots from goofy angles. That would just be a mirror matchup, and it would be amazing stuff. So yeah, if he was to win that, that's when you get the title. I think he's 3 KOs away from a title shot, and I think that means he's 3 wins away, because I don't think this guy's winning fights not by KO. Obviously, he could lose along the way. That's very possible. If his next fight, he fights like Krylov and he loses, all right, fair enough. You pump the brakes. You make him fight one of those lower level guys. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus the winner of Menefield and Olberg, and then the winner of that goes up. But I kind of want to keep the prospects a bit separate. Like, I'm not saying Guskov is like a prospect, or Menefield's definitely not a prospect, but you want to keep the guys that are on wins, like make guys coming off wins, fight guys coming off losses, and that's how you make them take their rankings. You take those like top 15 guys, and then that are coming off wins, you make them fight top 10 guys coming off losses. That's how you do it. So yeah, I think the path to gold for him is Anthony Smith, big KO, easy KO there. Then you give him like a Johnny Walker or a Krylov or something like this, just a guy just outside the top 5. And then if he wins that, you give him any top 5 opponent. And if it's Yuri, if it's Jan Blachowicz, that'd be cool too. That'd be a nice retirement fight for Jan, very winnable for him. Could do that in Europe somewhere. But yeah, that's the title. That's the route. I think you give him a guy around like 9 to 13, 14 range. Then you give him like a guy like 5 to 10 range. And then you give him a top 5 guy. And if he wins that, or if he wins those 3, that's a title shot, motherfuckers. So that's Bogdan Guskov. I went into a bit of detail on the man. Hope you guys learned something about him. Reminder, Hugo. It's Bogdan, Hugo, Sharevich, Guskov. Or Sharevich, Hugo, Guskov, or something like that. Or Hugo, Bogdan, Sharevich, Guskov. But that's the name. We're going to have that going in the comments every time he fights, or comment down below. If you made it this far in the video, comment Hugo, or comment like W Hugo, and then put like an Uzbekistan flag, or like some sort of reference to this. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the intro at the start. One of my best ones to date, I would say. And just a funny video we're having a laugh here. Obviously, I don't think Bogdan's going to be a champion, but fucking hell, it would be funny if he was. And he's just a cool guy. He's one of my favorite personalities right now at light heavyweight. Probably the only personality really at light heavyweight, apart from Pereira. And Yuri's fun too, but yeah, enough waffling. See you guys in the next one. Predictions coming soon. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. And yeah, see ya.